Hello guys, welcome to another interesting class on Benco. On today's class, we're looking at this giant farmer generator. Actually, I was supposed to fix this at my client's house, but I just decided to bring it to the office here so I can show you guys how to overhaul a big generator like this. So this generator particularly smokes excessively when on, okay? And then because it smokes excessively, the engine oil do not last. After about 2 days, they have to refill, and it happens constantly, just like that. So in about a month, they could change oil for more than 6 times, which is not nice whatsoever. So without wasting much of your time, guys, we'll lose the tank, take off the exhaust, take off the alternator, so we have access directly to the engine where we'll be changing the piston and the rings, or perhaps changing just the rings, as the case may be. What I want to do now is to take off the exhaust, and then I'm taking off the exhaust and the top cylinder together, so it's a little bit easy. This is the handle, this is the extension, and this is the 14 socket. So this would be enough to take this off. So what we've done now is we've basically detached the exhaust and the top cylinder in one swoop. But that's not all. We still have one little thing to do, and that is detaching the carburetor. All right. Then this is the last thing we'll do now. Taking off the carburetor spring from the carburetor and disconnecting the carburetor solenoid. Okay, so disconnected the carburetor solenoid. So what we have now is this. We have basically the exhaust detached, the top cylinder detached, and the carburetor detached. So guys, this is it. It's out already. Okay, so what I just did in one swoop is to take off the exhaust, the top cylinder, and the carburetor. Originally, some people would want to do it in another way. They will take off exhaust first. That means they have to detach the exhaust trunk from the top cylinder, and then lose out the top cylinder and lose out the carburetor. But this is far the better way, the best way to do it. It makes your work cut out. It makes it easy for you. Okay, so what I do regularly is to take off all bolts and put them in a pack, so I don't end up looking for them. I would advise you follow put as well. It's the best way to basically get stuff packaged rightly. All right, so this is what we have now. I'll quickly rotate this and exactly is happening to the piston and the rings. When you have a generator that leaks out oil, engine oil, from this edge of the rings, of this edge of the piston rather, that generator has all tendency to smoke. and when it leaks out oil, engine oil excessively, it sure smokes. Okay, that is basic engineering ideas of how engine works. The engine oil is not supposed to get to the top of the piston. So it's the oil that gets to the top of the piston that burns and later turn into that white smoke you saw earlier. So for a four-stroke engine is not supposed to smoke excessively. A two-stroke engine is understandable. Combustion is not proper in a two-stroke engine, but a four-stroke engine where the mechanisms are all in place to give you efficient running of engine, it is not supposed to smoke. And when it smoke, meaning your engine is bad. And the main part of the engine that will be bad is your piston and your rings, sometimes just the rings alone. Okay, if you touch your piston like this and for some reason it shakes, if you observe very well, I'm trying to tilt it up and down. Okay, go closer please so that you can see this. Okay, it's okay. I'm trying to tilt this. If you observe, you observe that the piston shakes. On a norm, if a piston and a rings is proper, it doesn't shake like this. So the lack of fitting is the reason why oil come to the top, and that happens when your piston has worn out, your rings has worn out, or maybe even the cylinder chamber, the combustion chamber has worn out. Next up, we take off the alternator. This alternator would be a little bit difficult to take out. Should I tell you why? One of the reasons is because this generator has never been loosed before. Okay, I understand this generator was bought over 3 years ago, I think. So in that time till now, the engine has not been loosed. As a matter of fact, I am the first technician taking off the top cylinder. Okay, so I know looking at the bolts, you could tell this is a virgin engine. We've basically taken out all the bolts and then the nuts for the seating. What we need to do now is to detach this dashboard from this alternator. That is how it works. You detach this dashboard from this alternator so that the alternator is free and alone. So how do we go about that? First thing first, we take off the earth. One thing I would advise when it comes to alternator, when you take off a bolt or a nut, as the case may be, fix it back. So I took off the ground wire, the earth wire, and I fixed it back. So another thing we'll do now is to take off these power wires heading to the dashboard. Like I said, when you lose out, fix back is very important. Very, very important. It makes your work cut out very easy. Alright, so see what we have now. We've detached these wires from the dashboard from the alternator. So one thing we need to do now is to detach this connection from the AVR. Okay, so we'll detach the first one. And then this other one. Alright, so this is what we have. So what we've done now is we've successfully detached the dashboard from the alternator. Another thing we do now, because as we are pulling out, if we don't lose it out, we tend to break it, and that is the brush. We lose out the brush. Very important, the carbon brush. If you've watched this video to a particular point and you, wow, I think it's even high time we change the carbon brush. However, the carbon brush has been working fine, but with the way it has eaten so far, I think it's high time we'll change the carbon brush. We'll just change the carbon brush and sandpaper the slip ring. So disconnecting the carbon brush. Okay, we can even leave it like this if we want, but sometimes my fear is this: if you don't take it out completely, because of the force in pulling out and maybe the energy you are going to expend while carrying it, you may end up just somehow unintentionally destroy this. So we'll just pull it out entirely. Good. So the brush is out. The next thing we need to do now is simple, yet very difficult, honestly, is to try to lose this, and then so we can take out the entire alternator. All right, so that is what we have to do next. Let's see. All right, it's out now. It's out. Oof, man, this shit is heavy, very heavy. Taking off the alternator is it's mad, man. All right, here we go. We've been able to take off the armature and the field coil. So the next thing we should do now is to basically lose out this part and take off the piston. But before we do that, guys, we have to take off the oil. It's been drilled out by the boys. So that is it. After drilling the oil now, we'll continue with our work. So this time around, after drilling the oil, we'll head down to this end and then we'll lose everything out. All right, see what we have here now. Then okay guys, see what we have here now. We've taken off the base of the alternator. All right, okay, attached to the base of the alternator is the governor. You know what the governor is for. And then we have two bearings with varying functions. So looking at this now, we have various components which include the crankshaft, conrod, cam, and what have you. So we're not going to dive into what the parts are for now. What we are just going to do is to lose out the piston. Okay, so before losing out the piston, there's something I need to draw your attention to. One of the beauty of four-stroke engine is that they are very timed. Okay, by what do I mean by timing? You see this now? Do you see this point here? It correlates with this point here, right? So that is what we call timing. So what it tells me now is the camshaft times the crankshaft perfectly. This is the crankshaft, this is the camshaft. And so that also happens with this as well. So let me rotate so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So let me rotate a little. You will see that there's a timing for these two. Okay. If you notice now, there's a point here that perfectly time this point here. Okay, the reason I'm explaining this now is because I may be coupling, I will forget to explain it entirely. But just in case I forget to explain it, just know that's how I coupled it. Alright, so let's take out. It's easy to take out, but coupling, you have to be very careful. You have to time perfectly. Now you can see how easy it is to pull out, right? So let me take off the cam follower. This is what we call the cam follower. All right. Last thing we'll do now, before coupling, obviously, is to take off the piston. And this is how we take it off. It's very easy. I like this spanner so well. One of the reasons I like this is that it gives me a sense of confidence that anything I'm going to do is going to lose out. Okay. All right. One thing I've one thing I've noticed with these engines is this: if I'm to lose it just with this, I will expend more force on my arm. But if I'm to lose it with the aid of this as a support, I won't expend much force. So let's go, guys. Let's do it with this. Ooh, man, this is pretty strong. Just imagine I'm losing my hand. That would not have been possible without the help of this. So did you guys get the concept? The concept is to do this, and okay, I hope you got the concept. It's not difficult, guys. So this is the connecting rod. One part of the connecting rod is out, the other part will be out soon. So let's just push this out, go back to the top of the piston. So pushing the con rod, and while pushing the con rod, the piston is coming out from this end. Okay, so the piston is out. This is basically what we'll be getting, this piston and this rings. So if we get there, hopefully this gel will be back to life and it will work perfectly without smoking. So when I come, I will explain better how this piston works for you guys. So we're going to get the parts now. I decided to lose this out first so that I get the best of quality piston. So, but if you have gotten to this point and you haven't subscribed, I honestly do not know what you are waiting for. You can see me sweating. Do you know the energy we've expended already? Much, guys. So just support us by subscribing to the channel, and if possible, drop a token for us so we can. What should we get? Coffee, right? Coffee will be fine. Or is the sun too hot for coffee? Shall just help us out so we can get maybe Coca-Cola. Our system is quite hot at the moment. So guys, I'll be back in no time to complete this tutorial.